The visibility graphics overrides in a project change the way that an object displays in a specific view. In this case, different kinds of curtain walls have different line thicknesses, whether it's associated with emulsions or whether or not it's a panel. Also, if we zoom back out, even our walls have different line thicknesses around here, while the pattern on the inside is a thinner line weight. Certain objects in Revit can actually have the colors of blue and green and red. You can give it any color that you want. So these do not have to be limited to being just the color of black like we've seen up to this point. Visibility graphics can assign those colors as well. Also, where we see the structural grids, this line style, this can be adjusted from being a center line to a hidden line to being a solid line through the visibility graphics and the properties underneath the visibility graphics for this type of object. Visibility graphics also control whether or not an object is on or off. So if you wanted to turn the dimensions off, or if you wanted to turn all of your walls off, you could do that through your visibility graphics. Those visibility graphics settings can be accessed one of two different ways. You can type the letter V for visibility graphics, like visibility, twice on the keyboard to bring up the visibility graphics dialog. The other way is underneath the properties of the view, select the edit button next to visibility graphics. And it brings up this visibility graphics overrides dialog box. It's called visibility graphics overrides because it overrides the default settings just in this one view. If you want to change those settings throughout every view in your project, you can do that by selecting on Object Styles. In the Object Styles, we can see such things as doors, walls, windows. Really, just about every object inside of Revit will show up here underneath the Object Styles. In this case, if we take a look at walls, we can see that a line weight of 2, which is a very light line weight, is associated with these walls whenever they're in a projection view. Now, a projection view is usually associated with elevations. So if you're looking at it straight on, that's a projection view. A line weight of 5, which is a much darker line weight, is associated when you cut through a wall. Cutting through a wall would happen in floor plane views because you're cutting through the floor plan through the walls at a certain elevation. Cutting through the wall would also take place inside of wall sections. So in wall sections and floor plan views, the walls are going to be darker, but if we're just looking at it in elevation, the walls are going to be lighter. The reason why the walls look the certain color that they do is because of the line color associated with those walls. We'll also see that there's a line pattern. This is the dash, solid, hidden. And if we click inside of this dialog, we can see a pull down of all the different line styles that are available to us. Now, this is the project-wide settings, and if nothing gets changed in the visibility graphics overrides, this is how the walls will display in every view in the project. Now I'm going to click on OK to that. But if in the visibility graphics overrides, we said, in this view in the project, we want the walls to display different, we could do that. Scroll down to the walls, highlight where the category of wall is at, and when you do, you'll see override boxes in each of these locations. For instance, underneath cut, this is where the wall section or the floor plane view would take place. I'm going to select on overrides in the walls line. So override. From here, I could override the line weight with any line weight that I wanted. I can make the color of the walls change. So I can make all my walls red or blue or green. I could change the pattern so that all my walls look differently. They wouldn't even be solid lines. They could be dash lines or hidden lines. Those settings can all be changed through here. And if you've changed them and then you want to come back and just wipe out any of those changes, you can always click on the Clear Overrides box to get rid of any of the changes that you've made. In this case, I haven't really done anything, so I can either click on Cancel or OK to this. Actually, it looks like I'd selected on one of the line types, so it's showing up as the walls as having a solid line type here. In fact, if I'd said red or dashed or any other properties, we'd be able to see that in this preview box right here for this particular override. In this case, though, I want to set it back, so I'm going to click back on the box, and I'm going to say Clear Overrides, and click on OK. And now we can see that that override has been cleared out, and it just says Override again. Also, if I come over here and click the box right next to walls and clear out that check mark, and then come down to OK, we'll see that all the walls will now disappear in the project. Probably not what we want, but it gets the point across that if you click the checkbox next to that particular category, then if it's cleared out, those objects will disappear. But if there is a check in it, they'll show back up again. And we can see that if we go back into the visibility graphics and then put a check back next to the walls category. And click on OK. So the visibility graphics overrides affect the way that each individual view displays. The object styles affect the way that objects display across the project, but the visibility graphics overrides will affect the way that those objects display in this specific view.